Well, hello, hello, hello. This is my first stream, my first, and I'm looking forward to talking with everybody and just editing my book, The Taste of Crimson Angel. I mean, right now I have nobody in here, but that's okay. We'll see how it goes. I will be here until 8 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm just going to move this over here so I can see it better. With this being my first stream, I'm learning a lot, getting things organized and things like that, so bear with me if I'm a little slow. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna start a timer first. Let me pull up my clock. And I'm gonna do a 15-minute writing sprint. Pop it out. So yeah, I'm gonna spend the next 15 minutes writing and editing. If anybody pops in, I'll be talking to them. So I am over here are my beta reader notes. And then on this side is the actual chapter that I'm working on. Right now I'm working on chapter 25. I'm reading what the beta reader had to say about each chapter and their recommendations and whether or not I actually want to put them into the story. I've actually added a lot of what this beta reader had to say, so that's good. So she wants a flashback when she said it. Her mouth saying red again, not in shame, but clarity. Maybe this soup has some specific smell like rosemary or garlic. Okay. All right. I like that. It had bones. Let's see. Like one flashback when she said it. Okay, so she's talking about. Let's see, that's Marcy. Let's see, second, arguing about queer cinema. It's mellow, no pressure, just company. Say, okay, I'll come. I just need to pick up my car first. Oh, you left it last night. That bad? I hesitate, not because it was bad, because it was too much to explain. Not bad, just intense. Okay, that makes no sense if she opened the door barefoot. Where's he open the door? Shouldn't have taken out wearing mismatched socks and a sweatshirt 3 sizes too big. Smells like lentils and sage. Record in the background. Laughter filters from the kitchen. I'm handed a mug of broth without needing to ask. No one pushes, no one pries. I curl into the corner of the couch with a blanket. Someone passes my way. Marcy flops down beside me, nudging our knees together. We don't talk about last night. We don't need to. I'm here and I'm not hiding. Space, self conversations. I demand attention, but the kind that arrive with clarity. I blink and one spills over. It's not grief, not shame, it's recognition. This is what I've missed. This ease, this presence, this simple warmth of being allowed to just exist without performance. Marcy notices. She shifts closer but doesn't speak, just rests her head against mine.
and I let it be enough. Hmm. Let's see. I want one flashback when she said it. That's down here. Um, we meet at a small restaurant tucked off a side street near the city's edge. The sign reads, Alueta, painted in delicate white script across the dark navy wood. It's cozy, but river. Lucian first, the least behind. They both carry something in their eyes. Curiosity, concern, care. We greet each other gently in our rushes. Don't order right away. I can't. My throat is too tight. Where do we begin? I finally say thank you for coming. I'm about to give her a puzzle to solve. I needed to say something, not because I have answers, just clarity. Yes, and more. I saved it and it changed me, but not the way I expected. It did unlock something I need to do again. It helped me understand something I haven't said aloud. I think I think I'm not meant to stay in submission. Yeah, I think here. I hate when I'm editing and I don't put in punctuation correctly. I hate when I'm writing and I don't put in punctuation correctly. Let's be real. Um, I think I'm not going to stay in submission. Yeah, okay. Right, so we've got this piece. Also in Marcy's house, maybe the soup has some specific smell like rosemary or garlic. See, I have this here. Excuse me. After fills the kitchen. We got about 5.5 more minutes of this sprint. We can do it. Broth, maybe here. Rosemary. I like the idea, but I need to figure out to ask. So we kind of don't want to because of this.
With a blanket, someone passes my way. I'm here, no, not hiding. Yeah, no, I don't think this is necessary because I already have that in there. Don't truly believe. See, this is the thing about editing. Yes, my beta reader would like to have that smell of rosemary or um, garlic from the soup. However, I don't specifically talk about the soup, I talk about the broth. And in here too, you can see that when she gets hugged by Marcy, the hug smells like lentils and sage. So, you don't want to do too much. You don't want to do too little, but you don't want to do too much either. Um, and she's saying that the transition to the restaurant happened fast. Yeah. Okay, I see what she's talking about there. There isn't really a good transition there. That's something when you are writing transitions. Sometimes you have to figure out, you don't want to be too fast, but you don't want to be too slow. So you've got to work on it, get it together. I'm trying to figure out how I can transition this. I need to read up here a little bit. Sorry, guys. I haven't read this chapter in a while. Since July, actually. Tears come slowly, not the kind demand attention, but the kind that arrive with clarity. I blink. When it spills over, it's not grief, not shame, it's recognition. This is what I've missed. That's ease, this presence. The simple warmth of being allowed to just exist without performance. Marcy notices, she shifts closer but doesn't speak, just rests her head lightly against mine, and I let it be enough. I head home, the sun begins to fall. Behind the horizon, the drive is quiet, calm. I don't turn on the radio, I just let myself float in a residual glow of something I can't quite name. The next couple of weeks move in small, subtle ways. Work is steady, routine. My desk stays clean but brighter. I wear lipstick some days and bring flowers from the farmer's market to liven up the break room. But something in me is still turning over, still trying to make sense of what I experienced with Carmen, what I shared, what I claimed. It's not confusion exactly, more like digestion. Each night I write a little more. I sit with question I sit with questions instead of answers, and eventually I reach out. First to Lucian, then to Elise. Let's do it this way. Mm. Oh, okay. Woohoo! Writing sprint is done. That 15 minutes. Wow, that went fast. It's amazing how fast that goes. Um, yeah, so whenever you're thinking about writing and you're thinking about doing transitions and anything else, you want to make sure that you have yeah, ideas. And sometimes we can't get ideas too quickly because when we do get ideas too quickly, we write something really funky. And like this, I'm gonna highlight this because this is something that I need to work on. I'm gonna save a copy. Make it a current copy. This is 9.4.25. But like I was saying, transitions, they can be hard. When I initially wrote this, I didn't think that was a real harsh transition, but after rereading it, yeah, it can be a little bit difficult. But it's still good. And I will get that transition done. I'm just not quite certain how I'm going to do it because I don't like the words our plan. Anyway, if there were people here, I would answer questions, but nobody is here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another 15-minute sprint just because I have an idea what I'm going to do. Let me reset that and hit go. Oh, I did not change to this. Huh, I'm sitting here talking to you guys and I haven't changed to the right screen. This is what happens when this is your first live. There's a lot you gotta do. Um, yeah, so we'll see what goes on and on and on. Okay. I'm working on this transition. No color. Restaurant. Just opened. Period. Um, Let me see. Do I have a day down here? Okay. We plan to meet. Let's see. Okay. So they're planning on meeting the following Saturday. So, we plan to meet Sunday. Dinner. Then here, what kind of music?
I'm thinking maybe some Kenny G. Contemplating. Um, I don't like that. Too small restaurant. Zigzag sign needs all lit up. Painted in. I don't like that but I will figure that out. I don't like this line, but I will figure it out. That's the other thing. As you're writing, sometimes you're going to write something and you're like, okay, I know that's what I want to say, but I don't like it. It's like, I really just don't like it. Um, so I'll figure out how I'm gonna word this. I may end up rewording this whole set right here because it feels kind of clunky to me. That's the other thing too. If you can, have writers around you that can help you figure out, is this a clunky, that's what I call it, a clunky phrasing? Is it, what would make this phrasing better? Um, so, okay, finish that one. Now I'm going to open up, oh, here, let me just come down here. Chapter 26. I'll put it over here. Awesome possum. Awesomely possumly. Awesomely possumly. Awesomely awesome. Alright, guys. I know I have like some of the worst tone issues. It's not even funny. That's why I'm not a singer. Okay. Oops. I don't want that one. Okay, we got 6 more minutes. Okay. So, chapter 26. Okay. This one got me like in my throat. Angel preparing wasn't about power, it was about presence. The crop, the breath, the tiny choices. She was with Lucian, not above him. Every motion felt earned. And when he safe worded, it wasn't a failure. It was the cleanest proof of trust. She caught him, she held him. That's all. That's all it needed to be. Elise watching didn't feel voyeuristic. It felt ceremonial. The debrief, the quiet tending, that was intimacy. That didn't need touch. Just a few extra threads would have made this even richer. When she picks up the crop, even one flicker of doubt or memory or calm that rises and fades would remind us she's still becoming. Smell of the room, leather, oil, sweat that would have rooted us. Calls read, maybe we get just his eyes locked into her. Oops, sorry. I don't know why, but ninjas decided to bark. That would have made it sing. Elise at the end, she didn't need words. Maybe she just squeezes Angel's hand. That's enough. This wasn't a climax, this was a threshold. Okay. Awareness, let's see. And she's talking about Saturday comes slowly, not with urgency, but with kind of quiet weight. I spend the morning doing ordinary things: laundry, wiping down kitchen counters, vacuuming the living room, in the hallway, open a few windows, let me take a drink of water, let my thoughts drift. I circled the memory of the warehouse, of Carmen's voice, and the blade, and the moment I said yes, and then read. It's not regret, though, it's power. I wonder what it means now to take that power and shape it differently. As I move through each room, cloth in hand, music playing well in the background, I let my mind touch the edges of the question I haven't fully asked. What do I want tonight? Not what am I avoiding, not what am I proving. What do I truly want to explore on my own terms in my own time? And the only answer I have, as I put the last folded towel in its drawer, is presence. I want to show up to see what opens when I do. Evening brings a slower kind of anticipation. I stand in front of the closet longer than I should, fingertips brushing over before, but never seen the same way. I don't want to disappear tonight. I don't want to shout either. I want to be seen. Eventually, I settle in a long black wrap dress with low neckline and a subtle slit. The fabric moves with me, not flashy, but undeniable. I pair it with a simple silver necklace. Nothing ornate, just a curve of metal resting on at my collarbone. Underneath black lace, not because anyone will see it, because I will. I line my eyes in charcoal, lips in red wine. Leave my curls loose around my shoulders. There's no performance in it, not tonight, just a quiet claiming of who I am becoming. Not loud, but powerful. Crimson hums. The moment I step inside, the music is softer than usual, more of a rhythm than a melody, something that drapes around the space like breath. I pause just past the door, letting my eyes adjust to the low light. The bar pulls me first. It always does. Tonight, the bartender, same as always, doesn't even wait for me to speak. He sees me, smiles slightly, and places a red velvet sour in front of me without a word. Okay, so in this book, um, red velvet sour is Angel's signature drink. It was a drink she was introduced to, like in chapter 2 or 3 at Crimson, and it just has become, like that one thing that moves through the whole story no matter what. That's what it did. I take a sip. Tart, smooth, complex. It tastes like a decision. I don't linger. I move with purpose toward the back of the club, toward the room least reserved. Each step feels both deliberate and new, like a rhythm I'm just beginning to learn. The door is already ajar. I push it open and step inside. Lucian kneels in the center of the room. He doesn't look up. His body is perfectly still, back straight, hands resting, palms up on his thighs. He wears black, simple and sharp, and the slope of his neck leads down into his shoulders like a sculpture carved to wait. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, that sprint is done, and I need to step away for a moment, so I will. So while I was so while I was so while I was um off doing my thing that I needed to do, I was thinking, um
You know, the other day, because I am in recovery for binge eating, so I do go to OA. And the other day, I found myself, I was carving up my chicken. I'm actually going to switch this over to the talk screen just because all I'm doing is talking right now. So I was carving up my chicken because I actually baked like a whole chicken. I never bake a whole chicken. It just doesn't happen, but I did. And I was carving it up and I caught myself starting to be pulled in by um, that compulsive eating. And as soon as the realization happened of what I was doing, of the behavior I was expressing, I had to stop and I had to walk out of the kitchen. I went into my living room. I talked to my higher power and I just sat there with it for a minute. And this is September. So it's the ninth month, um, which for me coincides with step 9. And if you've ever been in any of the 12-step recoveries, you know that step 9 is about making amends. And I realized something in that moment that I have to make amends to myself too. That yes, I had this moment of where I was starting to have that pull of doing that compulsive behavior that I didn't need to do. I really didn't. But I made a choice to stop, to walk away, and to reach out to my higher power. I could have also reached out to my sponsor. She would have responded, but I don't like bugging people. Sorry, sponsor. Why I really don't ever reach out to you, but it's because I don't like bugging people. I don't see that my issues are that big. I'm still in that mindset that I need to handle my own issues. And that's not totally wrong, but I don't have to mind my own issues by myself. And I realize that. It's one thing I do like about having a higher power that I can lean on and that shows me, hey, it's okay. Yeah, you started going into this, but for a change, you didn't dive into it feet first and not stop. You recognized what you were doing. You stopped. And it's great because I was then able to go back and make my 2 chicken tacos that I wanted for dinner that night. And I was able to eat them calmly and not in a frenzy, which for me is amazing because I don't get out of the frenzy easily. So I'm thankful, very thankful for my higher power, very thankful for um, my fellow members of OA, and very, very thankful for my sponsor because they do so much to remind me and to help me with my compulsion. But I think it is back to another 15-minute sprint, and then we will be at the end of our live. All right, so I am back to working on this, and what? A leather crop, cat o' nine tails. Inside them, a small wooden box, lightweight for aftercare. Everything speaks of intention, preparation, respect. None of it screams, but all of it waits. Just like she's watching, expectation. Her eyes meet mine, steady and calm. I will wait on my next choice. Subtle, not submission, not certainty. Gestures with her hand, but with her presence. Moving forward is uncertain but curious. She still a steady presence. Reach for the crop. Okay. And yes, I am highlighting those changes I'm making just because I do want to go back and reevaluate them.
Let's see. The smell of the room. So I gotta go back up there. Sorry guys, I cry at this part. Even when I was writing it, I was crying. And it's because of this right here. See if I can highlight it. I thought I knew how to hold power, but this was different. I wasn't just acting, I was listening, responding. And when it went too far, and let's get rid of this. Actually, let's do this. Let's go period over there. But, and then at least you responded. That's what matters. You held space and you adjusted. You heard me. That's more than some ever manage. I mean, I understand what she's saying here, how it would have rooted the reader a little bit more. Here, maybe here. Okay, thought, musk, lavender. Okay, I gotta ask ChatGPT a question. So something about me, I actually have a hard time with scents. If they're super strong, I get migraines. So sometimes I do go to ChatGPT or I talk to someone around me and I'll ask a question like, what scent goes with musk and Lavendaber? Sandalwood, jasmine. Ooh, okay. Lavender and jasmine. There, that'll bring
I think bringing the scent in around Lucian will actually draw the readers in better. And again, I want to evaluate that. Maybe we get just his eyes locking on her. Okay. And again, another section I want to evaluate. You know, when it comes to writing, I think if this is something that you enjoy doing, um, because I don't think you can actually be a great writer or a writer that people want to read. Um, but you have to have a passion for what you're writing. So I don't know how else to put that. That's a clunky way of saying that. I don't like it. I'm gonna have to fix that. I don't like it. Oh no, I like that sequence. I'm gonna leave that. Okay. All right. So cool. I got two more um, chapters done. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. And we are now at the end of this stream, and I appreciate everyone being here, everyone listening to me ramble. And I will be back on Sunday to do some poetry reading. That's only going to be about a 30-minute stream, but I will be here. And then my plan is to actually be here every Thursday to do edits, to talk about recovery, um, all of that fun stuff. And then as soon as I'm done editing The Taste of Crimson Angel, I'll be formatting it. So I'll be walking through doing all that. Um, yeah, I look forward to continuing this. It's motivating to me, and I hope to see more people come and watch. Thank you very much, and I hope y'all have a great